The boys, they be back in town.
Yo, yo, yo!
Are you using your nice microphone, Penny? You sound like crap.
Patrick, we've been over this. You sound like ass. I'm using the same microphone I've used for the same past 2 years. Nothing has changed.
No, but are you
for
sure
your
though?
Poor
What
ass
if you're
Texas
not?
internet connection, because the cows are munching on the fiber cables out there. Don't give me your fucking shit.
The cat that my roommate has bites every fucking wire that she can get her mouth on. It is so annoying.
That's crazy.
She's adorable, but oh my god.
Well, gotta take her out back, I guess. Anyways,
It's time for the urn, as Michael Shannon would say.
now that Yammin's here,
I am here.
He's here. He's back from the grave. You want to give a quick life update, Yammin? Tell the people what you've been up to.
I'm alive.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
What else can you ask for?
Right?
in
I'm
these
blessed.
hard
I'm
times?
thankful.
He's kind of just been hooked up to
You sound like
an
every high
IV.
schooler I knew on Twitter.
Exactly. Hashtag YOLO. Come on now.
Yes.
What is this? 2013.
I
Can
wish.
we talk about Michael Shannon, please?
The actor Michael Shannon.
Who is that?
You don't know about that?
I know about
Oh,
the
he's
actor
the
Michael
best.
Shannon.
I don't remember the article exactly, but there's been some resurfacing stuff. He says stuff like this all the time. He's not a fan of Donald Trump at all, and he played
Who
Zod
among us
in Man
is?
of Steel. And his opinions about old people who vote for him.
Oh, I saw
Oh
this.
my
I saw
god, they're
this.
brutal. It's amazing. He says stuff like, "It's time for the urn," and I just can't get enough of him because he's so much like the character Zod.
Do you not have the quote on you?
No, I just have Michael Shannon Zod. It's time for the urn. And if you don't know what an urn is, it's what people put the
Yeah, he
ashes
said
of their
if
loved
you're
ones in.
voting for Trump, it's time for the urn. I don't want to live in a country where people voted for Trump. I want to live in some other fucking country.
If you know him at all or any of his work, he is a very, I don't know what, he's not weird, eclectic maybe?
He's like
Just
very serious and
super
very
singular
intense.
person. He's a very unique individual. He looks like he wants to choke the life out of every single person he's ever met.
Yeah, he looks like a guy who would beat his wife, but he's actually a nice guy.
Jesus
A nice
fucking
actor.
Christ.
He looks incredibly intense, dude. He's straight out of 1950s like Americana, like racist, sexist, smokes a lot, goes to church begrudgingly.
You're
you
just
know.
adding a whole lot of other stuff to this.
I think it's because the last thing I saw him
You're
in
talking
was
about like, oh, he's progressive and he has opinions about, people, as they get older, they may be, distant from what makes sense to them, and it's time for the urn, and that's funny. Maybe spousal abuse is involved.
No. I'm saying he looks like the kind of guy. I'm saying
Oh,
he's
gotcha.
the
That's
exact
way
opposite,
worse.
which
Oh,
is
yeah,
what
yeah.
makes him interesting.
It's different.
It's because the
Not
last
the
thing
same
I
thing at
saw
all.
him in, I think, was like The Shape of Water, which is that fish fucking movie by Guillermo del
When he
Toro.
played as Zod, it was some weird overtones.
Yeah, so he's a nice guy, though. I don't want to put disrespect on
You've
his name
said
or anything.
all that you can ever say in the negative about this person, so you don't want to what?
Thanks. Anyways, Yaman, what's up with the drama around NBA 2K20? I know this game just came out, but it's got I saw something on Twitter that has like super low user reviews or something like that.
It's kind of sad because this is the best 2K. This is not subjective. It is the best 2K in a few years.
Really?
But the community
Then why are
is
people mad about it?
so fucking toxic. They don't accept change. They don't even try change. They see something different and they're immediately like, this is what is wrong with the game. Fix it so that it's like last year, even though we complained about last year's game. Yeah, I mean that's the community is horrible. Like,
What about
it's
it?
horrible.
What about it is different though? What is it? Basketball doesn't change much year to year, so what's different this
Well,
time?
gameplay, like how gameplay works. For example, stamina is when the game first came out, you had less stamina than you're used to. They said that they didn't want people sprinting up and down the court all game. They wanted you to try to use stamina strategically. Everybody complained that there wasn't enough stamina, and they buffed it to the point where it was like last year's. And then once everyone kind of quieted down, like they stopped complaining about the stamina, everyone realized that it was more fun with less stamina. There was more strategy to it.
What the fuck?
That's how everything happens. Like something's different. Like the shitty community screams at the developers. The developers hear the 12 screams and go, oh my god, we have to fix this immediately. They change it, and then the rest of the community that actually enjoyed it sits there and goes, why the fuck did they change it back? Like, it was good. It's also, creating your character has been, it's a lot better now because you don't have to redo it over and over and over and over again. One, you can test your character before you make him, and two, you can adjust the character after you make him. So, like, if you put down $20 on a character, it's not like, oh man, I don't like it, I have to make a whole new character, I've wasted $20. It's better in that regard as well.
Do they still have that feature where you can take a photo of yourself and it'll try and put you in the game, but it'll just make you look like a hell demon?
So,
like fucking Rainbow Six.
Yeah, the face scan is still in it, but it doesn't work this year. Like, last year it was bad, but eventually you could get it to look somewhat kind of almost like your face. This year it just doesn't work. The biggest problem is that after you scan your face, last year you were able to change the features still, like as much as you wanted, and you can do that this year. The only difference is you can't change your like skull, like if that makes sense. Like usually
the literal
people's faces,
shape of your skull.
Yes, yeah, you can change like eyes and eyebrows and hair and chin and
That's
facial
exactly
hair
how
and
it
stuff
was
like
in
that.
fucking Rainbow Six. You
Yeah,
just
but
have like a solid cone and you paint your face on.
Yeah, and so that was like the biggest problem. And so it's just, I don't know anyone that's been successfully able to use the face scan.
Are people still like mad about the microtransactions? Because when I read on like Reddit, and I guess the
answer is yes.
The most I don't know, some more like serious subreddits that maybe aren't sports oriented, people always complain like the reason I don't play these games is because they're just microtransaction fests. And there was also that other thing where they like started putting ads in the loading screens as well. I don't know if you know anything about that.
I don't know anything about that. I haven't seen an ad in the loading screen, but
it was an ad for Snowfall.
First of all, I'm pretty sure that was 2K19.
Oh, okay.
Oh, gosh,
that was 2K19.
Big difference.
That was like at the end of the life cycle. It is a big difference because no one's playing it anymore. Who fucking cares?
I care.
You
I'm
care about
playing it.
The thing about microtransactions is this year they did a lot better in that you actually don't need to spend money. Like, for example, last year on a character, I spent $50. 50.
Why?
$50.
Well, you're the reason they put it in the game.
You have to.
Spend your money where you spend your time.
You don't understand. You pretty much have to, unless you're willing to devote all of your time ever. And I mean, I devoted a lot of time to this game, even with the $50, and still couldn't get my player to like close to the max rating. So this year, all of us, my friends and I, had a similar mentality that we were going to make a character put down $40 or $50. And as we started playing it, we realized we don't have to put down that much. I put down 20 this year instead of the 50 of last year. And I'm already a higher overall in this game than I was at the end of the life cycle of the last game, putting down $50. So they've made it a lot more balanced. That's another thing I really like about this game. It's totally like the opposite of how 2K usually works, in where they're like, oh, let's make the players happy this time. And the players still bitched and moaned and complained and everything. It's pretty unbelievable.
So the way this works, you say you create your character and then you like invest in them. What exactly are you buying? Are you buying the stats straight up? Or are you buying like packs? I don't know how this works.
So it's attributes essentially.
Okay.
So you have, for example, 3-point shot, mid-range, speed, interior defense, perimeter defense. There's like a lot. There's like 20 or 25 categories of attributes for your player, and each attribute point costs VC, virtual currency, in the game, which you get for playing games and for winning and for doing a bunch of different. There are a bunch of different ways to get VC, or you can put down $20 and get 75,000 VC and pretty much give yourself a jump start so that you can actually compete in the online games, so that you're not a 65 overall playing against 90 overalls where they're just going to destroy you and you're not going to have any fun.
See, that's where I fundamentally don't like about sports games, is that you're basically paying more to just like be better, to be able to keep up online, because if you don't pay into it, someone else will, and that'll automatically make them better. So it's a pay to win situation. It's not just, oh yeah, I'm going to buy this outfit for my character but it doesn't like affect them or anything at all. Like Overwatch, you know what I mean? Like Overwatch, like Rainbow Six to some extent, because you know you can sort of unlock operators at a reasonable pace, and everyone has the same operator. It's not like I can play at Caviera and like spend $20 on top of that, and all of a sudden I have like Mega Caviera or something like that. You know, It's the same character, but the way you're describing it is like the more money you dump into your player, the better you'll be, and that sounds like kind of dumb and unfair to me. You know what I mean? Like in real life basketball, like I can't I can't go to someone and be like, yeah, pour $100 into my like 3-pointer. You know what I mean?
Okay, so a couple of things. One, the whole idea behind that is kind of like you said in Rainbow. It's you can play a reasonable amount and then unlock the new operators, right? If you can't play that amount, if you can't put in X hours a week to get the new operators that come out each month, then you put down $10 and you get the new operators, right? Or you buy the season pass. There's that trade-off of like, yeah, you can earn it, or if you don't have the time or you don't want to do that, you put down money and you get it. In last year's 2K, you could not put down the hours and get it. It was almost the only way to get to the high overalls was to put down $40, $50. This year's where it's different. This year's where, again, I played and like got to like, this isn't going to mean much, but got to like 70, like 72 overall without putting any money in. And then I put down $20 and I was like mid 80s. And I was almost the overall I was last year, putting in less than half the money. So it's now at a point where it's reasonable to say you can either, you know, put in a lot of hours and just earn it like that, or you can put in money if you don't want to or if you don't have the time to. Now it's reasonable again. That's why the community isn't yelling about microtransactions. They're yelling about other things because they're little babies.
Okay. I still don't think
to yell like a little fucking baby if we don't change the subject.
There's more than okay, we'll change the subject in a second. There's more
literally anything else.
There's more than
the min-maxes of a game that nobody plays.
I enjoy the economics and ethical quandaries of
Oh man, I'd like to look at the numbers, Pat. Show you the numbers. It's more than the attributes though, Alex. There's badges which give you boosts to certain skills and things like that, and those you can't pay for. Those you have to work hard and grind for. There's other things that you have to you can't pay for.
I'm gonna get shit on for the first 10 minutes of Yammin coming in and be like, Yammin, shut up!
Why do we even have you
about
back?
Your hobby?
There was
And by nobody plays it, I mean nobody plays it in this sliver of the universe. Every other human being
Alex
on the
brought
planet
it up.
plays it.
Alex brought it up. Okay,
you're right.
I wanted to know.
And you wouldn't shut the fuck up about it.
It's pretty funny because like on Twitter, there was like hashtag 2K Day or whatever, and I saw some like some girl like bought her boyfriend like a bunch of Gatorade and like protein powder and like Nike socks. Stupid. And someone was just like, what the fuck, you're buying him Gatorade? Like, he's gonna actually be on the court or something.
I hate that. I hate that gamer stuff where it's like, ready for an epic gaming weekend, and it's like a box of pizza and like a bunch of Mountain Dew and like Destiny the game in its box, like, and then a controller's just like, shut up. Shut the fuck up. I don't know why I hate you, but I do.
Epic gamer time.
That's something Ben Shapiro would tweet.
I know. Actually, no. Ben Shapiro probably thinks video games are the devil or something.
Oh, is he religious?
Yeah, he's Jewish.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know. He's
I don't know why I'm surprised by
the kind
that.
of guy that doesn't like fun at all. Or maybe he does like really lame nerd shit for fun. Who knows? Anyways,
I was looking at my list. I may have crossed off all of it except for one thing.
And it was just the Michael Shannon thing.
No, I didn't cross that out. I could never do that to him. But there's this guy at the Walmart I go to. There's no 7-Eleven around here, so it's been replaced by Walmart, and I don't know how that's worse.
Wait, they don't have any 7-Elevens?
I mean, they might, but not near me. And by that, I mean not 10 feet from me, like my old 7-Eleven was. By the way, people in Texas, I don't like how nice they are. I don't like it. They smile at you, and they do things for you without asking because they assume that you want them to.
Yeah.
I'm talking about employees at restaurants and stuff, and like,
how dare they?
I don't like it. Like, what do you want?
Stop being fucking nice to me.
Somebody in the emails is going to yell at me for both Yammin and like making fun of people who work places. But
Yeah,
like
you're bullying
I don't
Yammin
know,
and the people of Texas.
It's too
the
nice.
good people of Texas.
2 birds, 1 stone.
If I miss anything about Virginia, it's how little anyone cared about me.
God.
No gym attendants were coming up to me asking how my workout was going. That definitely never happened in Virginia.
Ew, people actually ask you that?
Sometimes, yeah.
That would actually bother me a lot. I hate that.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying.
Like
it's
when
gym attendants and people who aren't even working there talking about your form. I told you about the guy who like walked up next to me and like critiqued my deadlift, right?
I think you mentioned this, but I don't remember.
I don't know. In passing, there was some douchebag. He had Texas is all about Texas. Everybody knows that. But once you get here, you will see how about Texas every Texan is. And he had stenciled into his fade on the side of his head the shape of Texas and Oklahoma.
What the fuck?
It was compounded because he was also telling me how I should and shouldn't deadlift. And I mean, like, I'm not the greatest deadlifter to ever live. I've been doing this for like, I don't know, 3 years though. Like in a way that I would say I'm good at it. So kindly get away from me. I don't know.
Get the fuck
I also just don't like people, so I guess that's probably something you should think about when you're considering the things.
I mean, no, it'd be the same thing. Like, when I go to my gym, I don't want anyone to talk to me. Even when people, I hate so much when people come up to me and ask me to use like a bench or something that I'm standing like sort of close to, but I'm obviously not using, and then they like kind of like try to get my attention even though I have my headphones in, and they like point at me, then point at the bench, and then I'm just like, no, you're good. I was obviously not using that. You can take that. Like,
No, that's not mine. That's not mine.
I actually love what you're describing right now. I love that because then I don't have to. It's like the nonverbal. Like they point at the bench, looking at you, making eye contact with you. So completely not interrupting your exercise. Just, hey, is that free? Non-verbally, and then you nod or you just give some like, yes, that's free. You can use it. That is my dream. That happens like 99% of the time. But then you get like, I don't know, these fucking Texas shaved in the side of my head dudes who like come over and touch you.
Dude, the worst.
So I prefer your situation way more.
I don't want any interaction at all. In fact, the worst thing that happened to me was
never go to a public gym. Buy your own equipment.
Yeah. The worst thing that happened to me was I was just like on the lat pull down, and you know I was doing it. I didn't think I was taking too long to in between sets because I have like a timer on my phone that doesn't let me go too long. But there was like one dude who's just like on the machine next to me and just like was staring at me. And I had like did too, and he was staring at me the whole time. And so eventually I was just like, are you waiting for this? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, bitch, what the fuck? I'm doing this at a proper pace. Get the fuck out of here. Like, don't just like look at me like a weirdo. Like, go fucking fill your time with something else. Like, I'm doing this at my normal pace. Get the fuck out of here. God.
He's a normal adult. He just, you know how you're like waiting for something at any other situation and you just sort of mad dog a 6-year-old while out there at the water fountain or something?
Exactly. It's exactly what I was raised to do.
Completely normal behavior.
So
guy.
I was fucking like, I know I just mentioned that I hate when people try to signal to me in any way at all, but if you like are mad dogging me with your eyes, like that is even worse. So your
ideal situation in the gym is you walk in and reflexively everyone turns away from you to face the wall.
Don't look at me.
Puts down all of their equipment and waits for you to be done with what you're doing.
Yeah, everyone goes into the corner and I just like work out by myself.
Honestly, you should join a 24-hour fitness if that's the situation you want, because like in the early AMs, well, actually that's not true. There's not nobody there. There's like the people who like this is their time, so they come in. Usually the huge jack dudes and women come in at like 1 in the morning.
No, I mean my gym is 24 hours, but I already have to be at work at like 5 in the morning, so I don't want to get up even earlier. So what I do is I just go to the gym after work, which is like 1:30. So it like works out either way. And surprisingly, there's still people there because my gym is really close to George Mason. So there's always like Mason kids there, and I'm just like, fucking college kids.
Do any of them have Maryland shaved into the side of their head?
No. I guess it can't be that.
Yeah, that's
bad.
a weird thing to do, right? It's stupid and weird.
Wouldn't it be Virginia? Why would it be Maryland?
I don't know. I just came up with a thing. I don't know where George Mason is.
You don't know where George Mason University is?
It's 30 minutes away from where I used to live. I know that because that's how long it took Yammin to get to and from.
And you think you have to cross state lines for it.
Shut up. Remember that one time you guys got mad at me because I didn't know the name of the hockey team or whatever in DC?
It's more just like basic knowledge of like your
You
general
guys said
surroundings.
that. I swear to God, basic knowledge. Not everything is everything to everybody. I don't know what I just said.
Not everything is everything to anybody.
Quote 2019.
I mean, okay, Yammin, I'm gonna etch Maryland into the side of your head.
Oh, thanks, man. How nice of you. Then people will know
Maryland
I go to
even a
George
distinct
Mason
shape?
University.
It kind of just looks like schmutz. Texas looks like Texas, but Maryland's just like nothing.
Yeah, Maryland's like nothing. Virginia has like a pretty decent shape, I would say.
If you want to make an advertisement for the state of Maryland, it's a state, right?
Yes.
For the state of Maryland, just call it Texas or fuck Maryland. It's really nothing.
Actually, Maryland's not a state. It's an unincorporated commonwealth.
God damn, I do not miss living there. You will never find someone who calls Texas an unincorporated commonwealth.
I'm totally just lying. I'm just like really want to like confuse you.
You also won't find Alex Pena in Texas, so that's a plus.
You'll never find me in Texas.
Get wrecked.
Actually, no. I want to visit Texas, especially Austin, because they have really good barbecue apparently, and I love barbecue. I need the smoked meats. That's the good shit.
I haven't had any of the Texas like local food. I've just had Whataburger, and I would not count that as good eats.
I feel like I would
Even
count
though I
that
love
as a local eat.
I mean, isn't it just East Coast? I mean, West Coast.
I don't think Whataburger is on the West Coast. It's just like in the South, maybe. I really have no idea. Same thing with In-N-Out. In-N-Out's like only in the West for some reason. We're just not even that good.
Did Donald Trump try to redirect a hurricane with a Sharpie?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
It was
in the briefest possible description.
So he got like all of his wizards together, and he was like, I really want this hurricane to hit Alabama. So he just took a Sharpie on a magical map and like kind of extended it a little bit, and it didn't work though because it didn't hit Alabama. So
Joe Biden
just another failure from this president. Yeah, that happened last night. I forgot the Democratic debates were last night. I was watching them, and I was like drinking a little bit, and I was like, this is a lot. I enjoyed it though. It was kind of dramatic. One dude started like mad dogging Joe Biden for Julian Castro. Basically started like giving Joe Biden a ton of shit and just being like, did you forget what you just said 2 minutes ago? Did you just forget what you said 2 minutes ago? And like implying that he's like too old to like remember things, which like kind of fair, honestly. But it was kind of unnecessary. He was being like overly aggressive about it. So it was a lot. And then Joe Biden also accidentally called Bernie Sanders the president. So take.
That's it.
Yeah, they actually automatically win.
Trump's out of office already. Bernie's in.
Shit. There it is. Them's the rules. But I don't know. Everyone's being like kind of cynical about the debates and being like, this is so cringy. But I don't know. I like it when they yell at each other and like figure their shit out. It's kind of like Family Feud or something, you know? Like these people are all almost the same. Like in normal circumstances, they would agree with each other 9 times out of 10. But they have to like make it look competitive and like, sure, there are some finer points that they may disagree on, but for the most part, they're all like pals. So it's always a little weird when you see them like go after one another. Because at the same time, like a lot of them were praising like Beto O'Rourke and being like, Beto, you did a great job like taking care of everyone in El Paso after the shooting. And he was like, thanks. And then people were like, Pete Buttigieg, thanks for serving in Afghanistan. Applause, applause. But then Julian Castro was just being like, Joe Biden, you're too old. Fuck you. You're gonna die. Before we were so rudely interrupted by Patrick's fucking idiotic technical difficulties.
I might have gotten up to throw a pillow at something, and that might have done something.
Were you throwing a pillow at the cat?
I was throwing a pillow at the door.
Oh, God. I'll bring up something that this should interest both of you. I'm not sure how...
bring up something.
Okay, what do you want to bring up, bitch?
Well, it wouldn't have interested either of you. I would have just yelled about it for...
Is it about Michael Shannon again?
No.
Let's see where this goes.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No, you want me to go?
I mean, If you're confident enough in the subject, feel free.
It's gonna not be great. You ever watch a TV show, or you watch a movie, and there's a scene in that movie or TV show where a character is interviewing another character, asking him a bunch of questions in a reasonable speed. Enough time is given where the person can respond. There's a conversation happening, a line of questioning, if you will. And then at a certain point, something occurs, and suddenly the person asking those questions rattles off like 5 without giving any time for the person to respond. As if, like, I don't know, there's going to be 5 individual concise responses in return to that. But there never is. There's always someone that comes in and is like, you gotta back off! Or, like, the character being questioned, like, gets scared and, like, pulls away. And, like, you get the sense as an audience no more questions will be answered. I fucking hate those scenes so much because there's, like, a line of, like, maybe there will be more questions answers, but we know. We've seen this scene 1,000 times in so many other things. Am I losing my mind, or is that something that happens a lot?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know why you would pick up on it. It's like, yeah, like the detective slams his fucking hands on the table and is like, "What do you know? Where is she? Where's
No,
Rachel?"
like you're asking it's like, do you know where they were going? And then there's a response. And it's like, do you know what clothes they were wearing? And then there's a response. And then it's like, what color were their eyes? Did they have a tattoo? And then like, just like those questions just don't get answered, and they're like going too far, so the person has to react and like, oh, and then the other person, like the sergeant, comes in and is like, you gotta cool off, pal. I don't know. I hate that shit.
What show are you watching?
All of them. Every single thing I've ever watched has had invariably a scene where someone asks like rapid fire questions that are never going to be answered.
I really want to know like your thought process and how these things come back into your brain. It's fascinating.
It's just tropes in Hollywood that I hate.
You know what's a really good
like
website?
Most of the stuff I see on Big Bang Theory.
Oh god, yeah. A really good website to get lost in is like the tvtropes.com or whatever. It's just like fascinating, like all the little things that you can kind of recognize across like thousands of like different shows and movies and stuff, because like they all follow the same structure. I love that shit.
ProZD on Twitter once retweeted a thing from some writer for some cartoon or some TV show or some movie. He had a whiteboard that was just filled with tropey, like reused hashed lines that were like garbage comedy or like terrible one-liners or anything like that, and he just filled it like with everything they could think of. And then they had the writers do their jobs for the show, and anything that they wrote they would check against this whiteboard to just make sure none of it leaked in because they wanted to be original. And it was just like, do that every day forever, but include the one about asking too many questions.
I would do the same thing. That sounds like a smart idea. Did you guys hear about Overwatch coming to Nintendo Switch?
Is that funny?
Because it's gonna run at like 2 frames a second or something. It's gonna look like a picture show. Probably not. I mean, memeing of course, but like, I don't know how they get things to work on the Nintendo Switch at all sometimes, because The Witcher 3 is also gonna be on the Switch, and that's like the fucking hardest game in the world to run. Like, even the Xbox like fucking chugs when you play The Witcher on it. But the Nintendo Switch is gonna like fucking have a panic attack and like start smoking as soon as you like turn it on. I've seen some like good memes where like there's just like a bunch of fucking like techno screeching or whatever as soon as like Nintendo Switch starts fucking playing Overwatch or The Witcher 3 or both at the same time. But hey, good for people who have never played any of those 4-year-old games before.
Speaking of a game that's not 4 years old, Borderlands 3 comes out I think today. I mean, it wasn't unlockable earlier, even if you had pre-order for some reason. Maybe it was just not the right time for me. But
yeah, they just really didn't want you to buy it.
I'm so excited for Flack. Oh my god.
I don't
You can talk to your little pets and it's so cute.
Should I go ahead and buy it? I haven't looked at the reviews, so I don't know if there's any
How could it be bad? It's Borderlands.
I mean, I didn't like Borderlands 1.
Unless like the entire game is a minute long and you can't do anything open world. I don't know why.
It. You get in, you play like the tutorial, and then it's like, thanks for playing Borderlands 3.
It's been in development for so long that I have fallen in and out of the good graces of Elon Musk. Like, at the beginning of it, there was announced that, like, on Twitter, that somebody was just like, to Elon Musk, there was some exchange between a developer and Elon Musk talking about, like, a Tesla gun or something, like, with the idea of his company in mind. And I was just like, dude, that's so cool and nerd cool and yeah. But now I'm like, that's fucking stupid. I hate that guy.
He is the worst. Do you guys know the, like, head of the Borderlands studio, Randy Pitchford?
No.
Like, personally, no.
Not personally, but, like, do you know of him?
No, I don't.
I hear his name when people talk about the voice actor for Claptrap and all of that.
He's a very fucking weird dude. One, he, like, used to be a street magician. And he still really likes doing magic tricks, so he'll, like, do them at E3 and stuff, and it's kind of weird. And also, apparently, in, like, a lawsuit that some, like, former employees are suing him, it said that he, like, lost, like, a thumb drive of, like, child porn at a medieval times, like, one of those weird restaurants where, like, you eat mutton and, like, watch people
We went
joust.
for a field trip once. Yeah, the food was good, and the show was cool.
It's weird.
I went on a field trip to find child porn.
No.
No. The field trip was to make.
I don't know why
porn.
you were like, oh, that reminds me of a tale I should tell.
Reminds me of a good time I had once. Borderlands 3 is out. But anyways, yeah, the dude's super weird and, like, apparently is, like...
Wait. So the controversy was not that he had it, but that he lost it?
The controversy was that, yes,
was it given to him?
Allegedly was in possession of, like, child pornography.
Hello?
Was not,
Alex?
like, criminally proven or anything. This was just, like, a detail in, like, a lawsuit.
Did
Now
Alex
I'm asking you, Yammin.
Alex disconnect, or I don't know what happened to Alex. I don't know what the controversy was. I heard that he went to medieval times and lost some child porn.
Yes, that's it. You got it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Why did you disappear?
You guys disappeared.
No, you
that was
disappeared.
definitely
Patrick
you.
and I were talking.
This
to
is
each other.
Patrick
We were
Telecaus
talking
to
shit
get
about
off
you.
We had
the
some
wires
secret
outside.
conversation about a magic trick to make some child porn disappear.
As one needs from time to time.
If you're Randy
Okay,
Pitchford.
That's true. Okay, Borderlands 3 is out. I could download it right now. But I'm not going to.
Is that what you were doing? We got a
Yeah, it was.
podcast to record. He closed out the tab so he could open the Xbox Marketplace.
Exactly. Well, no. My Xbox is over on the other TV. I moved it.
Oh, thank you. My joke doesn't work anymore.
It doesn't, you fucking idiot. I actually, kind of separately, since
I'm getting
I've
sick and tired of your fucking actually, Spenya. You're doing it on Twitter talking about the Iraq War.
Was I on Twitter talking about the Iraq War?
No, you're talking the Gulf
I know,
War.
like a little DM conversation. Yeah, I know. I just did that to piss you off. I don't actually give a
Yeah,
shit.
sure. A likely story.
It is, but you know, I just like to educate you, Pat, because I know you're a little behind the times sometimes.
Fucking mansplaining.
I want to make sure you have the the best information at all times. That's all. What was I gonna fucking say? See, now you made me lose my train of thought with your fucking complaining.
See what you did?
You goddamn fucking loser. I hate you. I was
Sounds
saying,
you
some
come up
fucking
with.
crushing.
you goddamn meanie.
You
How will I
goddamn
ever
big
recover?
idiot,
You smell like pee.
bitch.
And poo. Yeah, I said it. I was gonna say that thanks to Game Pass, I'm like trying out a bunch of shit I normally wouldn't ever buy. And I downloaded Forza Horizon 4 because I figured I haven't played a racing game in a while, and this seems fun. Like people.
After you uninstalled it, what'd you do?
I went out and I bought myself a car.
An actual race car.
No, but I played it and it's pretty good. But this brings me to like the same issue I have with fighting games is that
You suck?
yes, but also
Oh my God.
but also it's like the same thing over and over again. Like racing games, all you can really do is race. Fighting games, all you do is fight, obviously, but I think that gets like a little repetitive and boring. Like I have Super Smash Brothers and I played it for like a couple of weeks, but then I was like, this is kind of boring. All I'm
That's
doing
where
is
you
like
lose
playing
me.
the same stages with the same characters over and over again. And
You
even when I
completely
try to
lost
change
me.
it up, like I don't know. It's all fundamentally the same thing. And then when I was playing Forza, it was just like, yeah, I'm like on new cars and new tracks and stuff, but fundamentally, I'm just like doing the same thing. I'm just doing a race, which I'm also very bad at. So maybe I'm just self-conscious about it and trying to find any excuse to like trash on these games, but whatever.
I feel like you're comparing two things that are very dissimilar. I would say that Forza you could compare to NBA or FIFA or Madden, but and not just because they're sort of like sports games, but when you bring in like Super Smash Bros, it sort of feels like it's not the same, even though they are, you know, fighting again over and over again. I feel like you get more variety with a game like Smash Bros.
Yeah,
and there's also World of Light now. That's like a whole campaign that you can play.
That's actually,
which again is still fighting.
No. See, that's my issue actually. Is that when I was playing World of Light, I was getting kind of fucking bored with it because even though they like did a lot of interesting stuff with like variety of like fights and whatever, at the end of the day, it was like the same thing. Like over.
It wasn't satisfying anymore. It wasn't fun.
It lost the appeal. Like it wasn't fun anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Like I was like,
I don't know what game would you appeal to then.
My favorite kind of game is like single player, like RPGs or just like story driven stuff. I don't know. Like I really enjoy, like variety. For example, I just started playing Shadow of War yesterday. And even though I was complaining to you about the controls and the story being kind of nonsensical because I kind of forget what was happening, I liked being able to like just navigate in a world and like approach encounters freely. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I like being able to sneak up on this orc, and then maybe if I don't give a shit anymore, I can just like start fighting all of them at once, and then I can like counter and do all this stuff. Like I'm not locked into something, you know. In those other games, it feels like I'm locked into playing in like a box almost, and but in like games like that, you can kind of just even though technically all you're doing is fighting, you can just go about it in such a more freeing way and kind of just do what you want, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor both. It's such a great formula for fun because it just gives you like superpowers and makes you a god. Exactly. And then your job is to amass an army, and it's sort of like the escapism of a power fantasy. Because you have like basically life and death control over an army, and there's a lot of instances that I love about that game that sort of like scratch the itch I have of the cinematic. I feel like a god, like I feel like a real hero moments. Like the cool way that you do shit in that game, like you can really feel the energy almost. But fucking Super Smash Bros is repetitive. I would never call it repetitive, even though it is. I would never call it repetitive.
I mean, I hate to call it that too, but like after a while, I'm just like
maybe you need friends.
Tired of this. Yeah, maybe.
Have you played online?
I hate playing online.
Because you suck. I forgot.
Yeah, that's the major caveat with a lot of these games is that like I suck if I play against other people, so I try not to.
Your description of why you suck, especially for what we were talking about with fighting games, you just vex me. I don't get it. I was describing basic controls, and you were like, I just can't. I don't know how.
Okay, a quarter circle is not like a basic control.
Yes, it is!
I hate it, dude. I hate it. The analog stick is too...
You're an idiot. How do you function day to day? How do you function? Do you hear what you just said?
I've done it so many times that like I could do it in my sleep. For how many times I've done a quarter circle back or quarter circle forward X, like just for like the commands for like something shitty that I played when I was younger, like DC Universe versus Mortal Kombat, or like Superman's controls, or like Sub-Zero or something. What is wrong with you?
I don't know, dude. Like I fucking downloaded Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite because I was like, I want to try out this fighting game, and I was like playing the tutorial, and I couldn't finish it because I couldn't do some sort of like circle movements,
expert move like XA or something.
Because then like instead of like I need to do it like quick enough where it like registers as a flick instead of me trying to move my character. You know, like I think I'm just not quick enough on the stick.
You gotta for fighting games. You gotta use analog stick, man, or the D-pad.
What you said,
the D-pad.
I think is probably what I
you
should
have
be
to.
doing.
You have to. Trust me. It's the way to go. Down left with the analog stick is 2 buttons. It's down, left, and then A or something. Rather than using the analog stick and having it register as, oh, it's diagonal, or oh, it wasn't a quarter turn, or whatever.
That's my issue.
I mean, unless you're getting into like the minutia of a really long series for a combo, and I'm looking at the controller now, there's never going to be a time where, oh wait, mine's busted, so that would work. But you don't have that excuse because yours is not broken. Yeah, use the D-pad.
I think I'll give it a shot again, the down back, because there's like a ton of fighting games that look really cool, and every time Dragon Ball Fighter Z looks amazing, and I wish I could play it without being like, I know I'll probably hate this because there's like a million button combinations I need to learn, and that's one of the things I actually like about Smash is that the controls are pretty universal. Like, every character has the same controls, but the controls do different things. So everyone has, like, a side A, a side B, up A, left A, etc. But depending on the character, you know, they do different things. So, like, one character might just, like, swing with a sword. Another character might, like, throw out, like, a chain, throw out, like, a fireball. Does different things. And that's what I dig about it. With fighting games, like, real fighting games, like Smash,
UFC?
Like Mortal Kombat, DBZ, whatever the fuck, Marvel vs. Capcom, it's like every character kind of has, I mean, some things are similar, like a basic punch and block and whatever, but then once you get into those combos, it's like, all right, this person's quarter circle A, B, do a backflip, suck your own wiener, and then throw a fireball that's like gonna throw the whole stage on fire. And like, that's cool when you can like pull it off, but then you have to like multiply that across like a bunch of different characters with a couple different like final moves. And
I don't think so. I mean, most people know how to do 1 or 2, maybe 3 characters in games like that. Like, they find their fucking feng shui and they just learn how to do them like the back of their hand. They don't have like unless you're like one of those tournament people who do like, let's go on random on any map on Final Destination. Like, what do you? See that? Your level of description for the difficulty of this is teetering on like you're competing like professionally, and there is never a moment in any game where I've attempted to do for an actual like encounter in a fight one of those like 35 long combinations, unless you're juggling somebody and it's technically a combination because you're button mashing. It's not the same. What is your malfunction?
I just think I think I just need to get more used to it. The best fighting game I ever kind of got mostly used to was like Mortal Kombat X, because I played that a lot with my friends. So, and we kind of just like fucked around and it wasn't too serious. So I could like kind of get a handle on like what was happening and stuff. But even then the controls didn't feel as responsive, especially when you're moving around and across the stage. Like Smash, I praise for having like incredible controls and just being like really responsive and kind of just feeling good. When I was playing Mortal Kombat, and even Pat, when we played like Injustice or something, I can tell the controls feel a little bit stiffer. Like the characters feel like they're on a track. You know what I mean? And it's more like I'm pushing a cart instead of like controlling an actual person.
Well, that comes with also the medium, because with Smash you have to take in the idea that these are more cartoonish characters, or at least a lot of them are, and there's the matches are, I think, quicker, to be honest. Like they're quicker, you're farther out from where you can see the characters. And if there was in Injustice specifically, a character like the Flash, it makes sense because he's fast, but if you have like, I don't know, Batman moving, like twitching that fast in response to a control, it doesn't look right. Like, it would be weird. So there is, there's delay, but it's sort of like the part of it that makes sense. I think they sort of I think it's NetherRealm that makes those games now. Injustice and Mortal Kombat. They've got it sort of down pat where it just works visually and control wise. I don't know, but there's a big difference in why that might be less like a control thing and more aesthetically.
Yeah, because like what you're saying is like, and Smash is kind of guilty of this, but it's like the least guilty of it is when I like throw a punch, like I press A, and then I immediately want to like get my character to jump into something else. I have to like wait for like the animation to finish, and it's kind of annoying. In Smash, it's not that bad, but like other fighting games, it can like be really bad. Like you know, I feel like even though I'm reacting, like my character is not reacting as quickly as I want to. Like it's not a one-to-one thing. And I know that's like part of the game and part of like knowing how to play it well, but I just like can't get over that thing, you know, because like when I play a totally different game like Call of Duty I think has seriously some of the best controls out of any game ever. Like that shit feels tight. Like you can animation cancel, you can like move on a dime. Like I love it so much. Like Call of Duty, even though I don't really play it anymore, I will give it so much credit for just having like some of the best controls out there. And maybe that's why I'm like so used to, if things don't feel snappy and don't feel one-to-one, which is what I was complaining about Shadow of War yesterday, that's like gonna kind of put me off until I get used to it. So, and fighting games, especially when your movements, timing, and everything really counts, that shit is noticeable. So I don't know, but maybe I'm just bad. Who knows?
I think that's the conclusion.
Yeah. And it's not that there are games that you're probably better at than this, or most people at. I don't know.
Oh, man, I remember when like I first got my Xbox 360, I was just like addicted to playing games online because I think it was still new to me. I was coming from a GameCube and like the games of children to the games of men. It was just how I like saw it at the time, because I was like, I have Halo 3 and Call of Duty World at War where you can fucking light people on fire. So I'd always play that shit online, and I just thought it was so fun. I'd literally play for 8 hours a day. Like, you couldn't stop me. Then eventually it just kind of burned out, and I don't have like the same love for like multiplayer games as I once did, which is why I'm not like as good as them anymore, because I just don't spend as much time on them. But I really enjoy like just like the single player stuff. Like I dig a good story. I dig a good like open world, good levels and shit like that. Like Spider-Man.
That's why when your first text came to me about Shadow of War, and you were like, "Yeah, the story doesn't really make sense." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean? That's not at all what you're playing this game for."
And see, that's the thing. I like love good games with like good stories. Like Spider-Man is like the pinnacle of so many things for me: movement, controls, story, like interesting world, interesting levels, you know, freedom. I can say good shit about Spider-Man PS4 for like the rest of my life, because that game just feels so good. Beef
sandwich.
Yep,
it's just it's amazing.
Perfect.
Shadow of War makes you develop story through gameplay,
though. I guess so. I mean, I've also like not really played it that much, so I'm gonna put some more time into it. I remember really liking Shadow of Mordor, so I'm sure I'll enjoy this.
You will, Patrick. Can I ask you? Well, I guess no, Patrick. You've played both, Witcher and the Shadow of Mordor games. What do you think? You think the one is better? You think they're different?
I mean,
in
like
a lot of ways.
Okay, for me, The Witcher's just a testament to a lot of things, but I find dumb combat a lot more fun. I don't know why. So, you know, whatever you consider dumb. Really dumb is Shadow of War and like Batman games, and I don't know. For me, like all around, I like The Witcher better, but you know, I mean the Shadow of Mordor games better, just for like fun. And The Witcher is like something like I need to sink my teeth into and like really think about. So I guess that I would say that's worse almost. But I mean, The Witcher's a better game for everybody.
Okay, interesting back and forth there.
Like right now, I would rather go back to playing Shadow of War than the idea of picking up The Witcher, because it's such an investment, and it's so much easier to have fun in Shadow of War because you can have fun in 10 seconds, whereas having fun in The Witcher takes a minute, and it's like, all right, what potions do I need? What oils do I need? Do I have all the ingredients for this? Crafting, blah, blah, blah. I like a dumb game sometimes, so I guess it depends.
Okay, that's fair.
I think I know exactly what you're getting at, because I'm kind of in the same. I think I would say the same thing, is that I think The Witcher 3 is a much better game. Like The Witcher 3 is one of my favorite games ever. But again, it's got everything I want. Great story, RPG elements. A lot of people complain about the combat.
I hate the RPG elements in The Witcher. I hate them.
Oh, I love RPG stuff, dude. It's the fucking. That's the whole point. I play.
Do too. But the ones in The Witcher, there were a lot of times where I was just like, what? Like, I got the sad ending because there was
I
no
did get
there
the
was
sad
no
ending.
room
Yeah, I was kinda mad
for.
about that.
It's really easy to get the sad ending because everything you do makes Siri miserable, no matter what. Like you present her to her dad, and he's like trying to offer you money as sort of like recompense because he considers this job, and also he wants to alienate you from Siri to like to show her that all she means to you is money. And in that moment, I was like, I mean, I'm gonna take the money, but there's surely a moment after this where I can explain to her. Yeah, that this, like, I mean, objectively, I'm gonna take the money. You know me. I'm not some kind of monster. I've raised you since you were a little girl. I mean, it would help me personally if I took this money.
I got
it was a lot of money.
pay.
and in the end, in the final cutscene where it's sort of like deciding how much effort Siri's gonna put in to get the final strike and win the day, one of the thing that flashes is just this douchebag counting money, like me. Like what? What? You thought that because of 10 seconds of like back and forth I had with a. I hate this. It's just stupid. It doesn't make sense to me. It's not human.
I get what you mean. Yeah, I was mad I got the sad ending too.
There was a lot of stuff like that.
Wasn't 100% sure what I did to lead up to that.
That game
point.
makes you sad.
But I still like love The Witcher 3. Like the DLC especially is really good. All the characters. I know people complain about the combat, but I got used to it and like started to really enjoy it actually. And when you play as Ciri, it's a lot of fucking fun because you can just like teleport around and shit, and it's awesome. But Shadow of War, I agree with you, is like a dumb fun game. Like you can just jump into it, start wailing on dudes. It's got that satisfying like Batman Arkham Asylum combat where you just mash X, counter every once in a while, do a finishing move here and there. And I'm sure, and you like unlock more stuff as like you go on, obviously, but that's pretty much the core of it. But you just look cool, and it like feels satisfying because there's a rhythm to it.
You're like you feel like a badass. All of the executions make you feel so like you don't just stab them. You like flip them into the air and have them land on your sword and like
or just be like Patrick and
like
like beat the shit out of them.
Well, I mean, I think starting about genuinely the animations for the executions, because when you get all of the health out of a person or an orc, and then you get that final hit in, it transfers into just a cinematic where you're cutting them to pieces usually, because it's trying to show you how hard it is to kill this person and how fucking satisfying it is to just cut them to shreds. And oh man, that game makes you feel for the story, not necessarily like the actual like arcing. I think actually in Shadow of War it gets better as compared to Shadow of Mordor, because there's like stakes and some twists and stuff, but I haven't gotten that far.
Yes.
I think I watched a thing that went through it, but you know, the thing that makes you like enjoy Talion as a person and the Wraith is feeling like you're them, because Talion's like a nothing character and the Wraith is a nothing character. Is. You can really imprint on them as if like they're Master Chief. They're nothing. They're an empty vessel. And just the hate that you develop for any orc that kills you. I had a glitch, or maybe it's a feature, where I was in a loading screen and I just heard the sounds of combat, and I was like, and my controller was vibrating, and then I heard the sounds of like this orc going like, "And I've killed you. Looks like the tables have turned, Gravewalker." And I was just like, I didn't what? And then I woke. I got back to the tower that I was teleporting to, and it was just like, "You were killed by Greek the Doodle or whatever." And like, and I was just like, "Nope, definitely wasn't." You have no idea how fucking angry I was, and I just went completely silent, like paused what I was watching, and that is when I like implemented the suck them onto the tower I'm in with this bow, and then just beat the fuck out of them. It's so unnecessary, and it makes it take longer, but I just hated that character so much. That's what makes it feel fun.
I think and I remember I played Shadow of Mordor so long ago now, it seems. It's back when I fucking still lived with my mom and had like GameFly, and it's one of the games I got on GameFly. And I played the shit out of it, and like the Nemesis system was so goddamn good. I remember, and I haven't really dived into it in this game yet. But I know it's like in there again, and now you have your own army or something. I haven't like gotten that far. I've only killed like one commander. But
There's
system
huge
is good.
battles, dude.
Yeah.
The system gives way to huge battles where you want to like, oh, I really want to kill this orc because he's really powerful and he'll give me a really good what is it called? Like the relic or whatever. Gives you a little
gem
upgrade.
or an item.
One of those. But you go, ooh, but I could recruit him and he'll help me in the next war. Like it becomes a thing of like, you want good people fighting for you. It's not just enough to have people. When it's you against 6 of the captains, you want good people fighting with you, and you also want variety. You want some people that do poison damage, some people that aren't intimidated by this, and like you want variety. It makes it like a strategy how you want to build the army.
I'm sure everybody has this experience, but there's an element of greed that comes into it. Because you see a fort, and you go into Wraith Vision, and then you sort of mark all of them, and you see that there's like 10 captains in the base. And that's like a lot. I mean, even if you're really good at the game, and it's not that hard to be good at the game, but if you're like the best, that's a fucking, daunting task. But you still want to get them all, so you try, and then you die. And then like,
right.
you feel frustrated, but like, I wanted to get them all. Like, I want to collect all these people or get the loot from them or something. There's so many times where I walk into a base, and there's only like 2 captains. And I specifically jump down into the square and just sit there like a stone cold killer and just let them set off the alarm so more will come so I can recruit them.
One of the funniest things I think about Shadow War is that the opening of the game is pretty fucking dumb. Pretty dumb.
I don't remember it.
I don't.
So like you make it starts with you and your Wraith friends making making the new Ring of Power, because you can just do that apparently in Mount Doom.
Celebrimbor.
Yeah, you make it, and then you do the final hit, and you kind of get blown back because it's so goddamn powerful. And then your Wraith friend gets like kidnapped by the lady in that black dress or whatever, and then you take the ring, you go try to find him, and then at the end of it you find her, and she's like, all right, I'll give you back your ghost friend, but give me the Ring of Power. And you're just like, yeah, all right. I'm like, why is this Wraith so important? Like, you have the fucking Ring of Power, just use it to like kill her,
because Talion's a good person,
and like just use the ring to kill her and like get your Wraith friend back. What the fuck are you doing?
So
and now it's like, well, now that I've got my ghost pal back, we've got to kill the lady with the ring that I just gave her. Like,
she's not the lady with the ring.
You did it in the total wrong order of events, my guy. Like,
so like in the Return of the King, the Lord of the Rings movie, the spider that bites Frodo is her. That's Shelob.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know. That has literally nothing to do with it. But I don't know. Talion's a good person, and he's also kind of dumb. The Wraith probably would have abandoned him if it was the reversed. And you learn that later on. I know the Penyon probably doesn't give a shit, but later on you get sort of betrayed.
I'm not like the biggest Lord of the Rings lore person, surprisingly.
Shocking.
But yeah, Shelob.
You were like aghast at the idea of this having a stupid story, and I was like, there's fucking eagles that they never use in the actual story, so I don't know what
I know. I mean, like, this is gonna be like kind of blasphemous, but Middle Earth feels a little empty to me a lot of the time. Like in the movies, and especially in this game, you don't really see people just kind of like living, and that kind of like bugs me.
How recently have you seen those movies?
Like, I saw them like 2 years ago, most recently.
I don't know what you were missing, but there's a lot of people.
In the I know. In the Fellowship of the Ring, I remember, like, the Shire is a great example of this. People just living their lives and stuff, and I think that stuff is important. But in this game in particular, it felt very empty in the beginning, and then sort of when you're, like, getting into that first city that's, like, under attack, it feels a little better, but it's also still a little empty. I don't know. Maybe my mind about this will change, but whatever. Anyways, that's enough of that. I'm sure I'll enjoy it, and the most important thing to take away from this is that I'm bad at video games.
The story will actually probably surprise you in terms of its improvement from the first game. It's actually substantial.
Yeah. Anyways, we have like no emails because we didn't have a podcast last week, so that is unfortunate. But we do have some tweets. We got some tweeties. Got some more animal people tweeting us their animals. At Neutral Wasteland sent us their fucking hamster. And this is cute. I like it. Travis asks, who would win in a fight, Ronald McDonald or Burger King?
Oh God.
This is interesting. I think it's.
Have you seen those redrawings of the Twitter icons? Or no, not the Twitter icons. Like the anime versions of brand ambassadors, or sort of like the iconography of like Starbucks realized as a person.
I forgot to bring this up. KFC made a anime visual novel game called God, I think it's like Taste the Flavor or something.
What?
Didn't you guys see this online? KFC made a visual novel PC game where you date an anime Colonel Sanders.
I did see this. Yes.
It's called I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger licking good dating simulator.
Okay.
Why?
It's kind of hilarious, honestly. I'm serious. I'm sending you guys the link on Skype.
Dude, he looks fucking.
Looks fucking.
He
hot
looks
as
good,
shit, dude.
Holy shit.
Silver Fox,
Sanders. Get it.
Can I interrupt this and you guys can continue? But there's this tweet from Rocket, Tweets by Rocket on Twitter. Fly me to the moon, let me kick its fucking ass, let me show it what I learned in my moon jujitsu class. Anyway, go ahead.
Thank you for sharing with the class. Yeah, Colonel Sanders looking like a whole meal. This is a pretty interesting marketing strategy. Let's see if it pays off.
They're like, if people want to fuck Colonel Sanders, they'll want to eat at KFC.
Yeah, Popeyes is getting too
That's
much
how it
attention
works.
with this nonsense sandwich. Well, we've got something better.
I thought you were going to go way more sinister with that. You know, I was like, all right, they want to fuck him, then let's let them fuck her.
There's a fuck room at every KFC now where you can
give you a
fuck someone
Colonel
dressed
Sanders, you
like
can
Colonel
fuck.
Sanders.
God.
Back to
Did
the
I end up
original
talking about the old
question.
man at Walmart? Nah, we can save that.
No, talk about it, dude.
We gotta wrap up.
All right, who would win in a fight? Ronald McDonald, Burger King? Burger King for sure. If you ever played those old Xbox 360 Burger King games, you know the fucking king isn't to be messed with.
The one where he like jumps out of bushes and scares people?
Yeah, the one where he's sneaking around like the suburbs and shit, and like giving people burgers.
Back when that was pretty much all you could get for free.
Yeah, well, I like those. Those are good.
Marble Blast Ultra or something.
And then there's this one from Buddy Brown. Why the hell do we call them strawberries?
Anyway, so
Good question. 10 out of 10.
Good question. Trying to think if there's any new YouTube stuff. Oh, someone complained about Hawkeye again. From
God.
Dallin. The reason these characters exist is only because bows look cool, and at the very least, Green Arrow is a good character. Hawkeye isn't. Never mind, Dallin. That was a very good comment. Thank you for
Green Arrow is not a cool character either. I'm sorry to break it to you. That was a half good comment.
It's pretty
Bows
good.
look cool, I guess. Yeah, they kind of.
I think bows look really cool, personally. I
They
always
look real cool. How that has ever stopped someone from committing a crime or murdering someone, I will never know.
The police should just start carrying bows. I don't know why they don't.
If Robin Hood was alive today, he'd be dead.
And then finally, someone sent us a picture of their dog. This is Badger. Oh, this is such a cute corgi. He has heard your podcast.
Make
when
up
I
your
play it
mind
out
about
loud.
what animal it is.
Anyways, he has heard your podcast when I play it out loud and is just as indifferent to it as anything else I do. Thank you, Badger. What a good dog.
Ow, my fucking arm!
Anyways,
Why is there whoever designed the body? If the idea of people designing the body, why is there a thing in my arm that if I bang it against something just so, it tases my entire arm? The fuck?
It keeps you in check.
are you saying you hate God?
Oh damn.
Is that an
The
oh
jump
damn
there.
moment? We've said so much words on here.
The jump there.
Are you saying you're against Christianity?
Yammin's like, whoa.
Recently
We're
on
taking it
it's
too
not.
far.
It's not that you said it. It was like the reach. That was like, geez. I don't know. That was being.
This is too much. Anyways,
there was a shut up. There's a recent off-topic. There's a recent off-topic podcast. I think I'm like 4 behind or something. Where somebody was bringing something up, and then Jeff Ramsey was just like, "Yeah, Christianity is definitely the worst religion," and it was just like out of nowhere, and I was just like, I had been half listening because I was browsing in a shirt section of a Goodwill, and I was just like, shirt, Christianity is the worst religion, and then I was just like, what the fuck? Like,
what
who said that to me just
what
now?
What happened?
Oh yeah, Brewster Teeth laid off like a bunch of people apparently.
3% of their staff?
13%.
No, 13%.
Ah, that's worse.
About 50 employees.
13 is in fact the
That is
bigger
a
number.
little
Okay,
bit worse.
I don't know anything about anything. Is that a sign of a business going under?
Not necessarily. So I didn't actually know this, but Rooster Teeth is owned by Warner Media, Warner Brothers, basically, and they just merged with AT&T. And so during mergers, typically they'll like shave off costs and employees and stuff. So, but also I think Rooster Teeth has kind of thrown a lot at the window, and not much of it has stuck. So
What do
I
you
think
mean?
like a lot of their movies, and I was just reading this on their
lot of
Rooster
their
Teeth
movies?
subreddit, so I don't know if this is actually, how accurate.
Do they have
this is.
more than one movie?
Yeah, but they also came out with a video game recently as well that bombed.
They do
apparently.
a lot, dude. They did a video game. They do movies, shows, animes. They do a lot.
Yeah. So
I guess that's better than having a lack of content. They
Yeah,
also
but
have
I
the
mean, it's the
incentive
other
to create
extreme.
content because of the subscriptions that they garner.
Jesus, yeah, they're.
And I don't know that Vicious Circle was a failure. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, it
Vicious
is a
Circle's
failure.
Oh shit! Really?
The top comment on the Rooster Teeth laying off their workers is, "Dang, there goes half of the Vicious Circle player base."
Ooh. How do you know that's a failure though? Based on that comment?
Well, no, because someone links to the Steam like player numbers, and it's 6 players in the past 24 hours is the peak.
Is it released yet?
6 players.
I think-
So- and
I
there's
think that-
0 people playing it right now.
Has it released yet?
Yes, and there have been 323 all-time
That's
player
not
peak
good.
in the last 30 days.
I think Rooster Teeth's biggest problem was since around the time the movie came out, the Laser Team, they started to
Both of
realize
them.
that they could make whatever, and they have a dedicated fan base that'll make sure that it does all right, that it breaks even. Like, even if they make crap, they have fans that are so dedicated that they'll break even. They're like, why not? Right? Maybe it'll be a huge hit, but there's little risk because these fans will munch on anything we give them. Honestly,
I mean, they will, to the extent that it's a like $10 movie ticket. But when it's like talking, there was a thing that I heard on one of the Rooster Teeth podcasts a long time ago when I was still like riding my bike to work. The first year I was lifeguarding. There was like, I think Gus Cirillo was the one saying this. There was like, sometimes we'll put up a poll on the store that's like, if we made this kind of shirt and it includes a design, would you guys buy it? And it's evidently, I mean, inevitably, 1 million people say, yes, we definitely buy that. And they're like, cool, we're going to use that data and make a choice based on it. And they put it up in the store and no one buys it because people love to vote with 0 effort and put 0 money into it. So somebody eventually, I assume, put up a poll that said, if we made a game, would you buy it? And no money back. That sucks because I like all of them.
I mean, I'm looking at this game on Steam right now, and it looks pretty good. It looks kind of
Yeah.
interesting, actually.
Jeff
I'm surprised
Ramsey's in
there's
that.
little people playing it. I think
It's kind of weird, isn't it? I feel like
they
that's
must
not a
have-
correct data. There's no way there's only fucking 6 people. There's more than that at the company.
it really came out
Well, maybe not
exactly
anymore, 'cause they
it came out
hired
exactly a month
13%
ago.
of the staff.
Exactly a month ago from today, and like, I'm amazed. They must have really just
There is
not.
no way.
God,
There
they
is
have
no way only 6 people. There's got to be more
6
than that.
people in the last 24 hours.
Steam is
man.
probably like doctoring that because they have Rooster Teeth bias.
Of course. They have a season 1 and 2 roadmap
Oh,
that goes until Q4 2019. Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen.
I think they also there's a
There's a
Vicious
58
Circle
on
game
Metacritic.
player count. This is so stupid and inside baseball. It's $20.
Yeah, it is $20.
The game just came out, dude. There is no way to possibly determine such a number, and even if you were to get one, it would be inaccurate within 30 minutes as people are getting home from work, school, etc. Oh, 30 minutes. The community hub tells you the player count when it is over 300, so it's less than that. 232 players. I'm so confident that that's not true because there's no way there's less than 232 people.
There are. In the last 24 hours, at least on PC, on Steam, there was 6 people.
Maybe there just wasn't enough ads for this because I didn't see any anywhere.
I didn't know Rooster Teeth was making a game until yesterday.
Can you chalk that kind of stuff up to a failure of advertising? Because like gems, like if they're good, then advertising almost doesn't matter.
Even gems need advertising. Like you need to get the word out somehow. Like
keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Like you really gotta push your game out to streamers. How much money does it
take to make a game?
Quite a lot. I mean, I think this game was cheaper, obviously, because it doesn't look too. I mean, it looks good, but it's like a smaller, it's like a smaller multiplayer game, and that's why they're only charging $20 for it. So,
I'm gonna release a game, but it's just gonna be my drawings of Darth Vader fighting Taliban.
Fighting the Taliban
as a slideshow, and we'll see if more people play that.
And then Bruce Green left Funhouse before the layoffs happened. So
then there was a fucking super goddamn sad compilation. I mean, it was funny because it included a lot of funny clips.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's so sad, dude. And then Lawrence was sad on Twitter, and I got sad off of that. Just sadness.
Yeah.
It is pretty crazy because even though I don't watch Funhouse really that often,
you sort of through us get the vicarious experience.
Yeah, and Bruce, Bruce I know more because of Autumn, and I watch Sugar Pine 7 a lot.
He's a good friend of yours.
Yeah. But I always liked Bruce. He definitely seemed like one of the core members of Funhouse. I was shocked to find out that he was leaving, because then I was who's left? So what? It's gonna be James. It's going to be Lawrence. It's going to be Adam. And I don't know, but Bruce kind of brought a necessary levity, because Adam's kind of serious and monotone a lot of the time. So I don't know.
He jokes around more than he used to, I think.
Adam's definitely gotten better and better over time.
Oh yeah.
I enjoy when he's in videos a lot. Mm-hmm. I used to be Adam's here, okay, sure. Now I'm yes, Adam's here. It's a
what I've learned about comedic equations, to make it sound like I'm really smart, but the different individuals in a setting matters so much. You can't have 3 people that are equally funny for the same reasons. You have to have someone who's probably not funny at all, who is perfect for setup. And Bruce worked well in those situations, and other people worked well in those situations. I learned so much from that group. Now it's broken. I mean, it's probably not gonna stay broken. There's probably gonna be somebody that comes on or fills that gap who's already there. But it's just oh man.
I think because I started watching Inside Gaming quite a lot, and I really enjoyed it. So that's how I got a feel for their chemistry and whatever.
Wait, when did you start watching it?
When it first launched, when it rebooted.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, no, I watched Inside Gaming way, like the new launch. I did watch Inside Gaming way back when it was still on Machinima, in fucking 2008. So I'm familiar with it.
All right.
But I like the new one. It's been really good. But I think it's weird how he's now Autumn still works at Inside Gaming. She's the editor, and now he's not going to be there, and he's just going to do streaming and YouTube and stuff. I don't know how good he is at that. He's going to do that until he starts his own company, I guess. I don't know. Seems seems risky.
For a bit, I was super comfortable with the idea of just saying what I thought about that kind of stuff and talking about these people, because they are, at the end of the day, sort of like when you talk about a player on a football team or a baseball team or whatever, you feel like they're not going to hear it, and you can sort of talk about this this is my favorite team, and it sucks to see that they sort of suck at some stuff. And I don't know. I feel like I can't do that anymore, because there's a chance they might see this, and then they might feel actually bad. Don't want to do that anymore.
Feel bad. All right.
I mean, that's true, but we're the smallest mote of dust on the baboon's ass that is the internet. But
yeah. The baboon's ass. That is
the idea that I don't want that, even if it's not physically possible in this universe. The idea in another dimension that could make someone who I really like upset or like sad, because I know that there was a lot of times where they say, you guys don't think that we're in those comment sections looking at your comments, and you think there's a level of anonymity that you have when you talk about us, but there's not. And we see that stuff, and that stuff stays in my head. So everything that I've said about them on this podcast is stuff that I think about a lot. So I mean, like, I want to offer my genuine opinions about that kind of stuff, but like,
Rooster Teeth is
just too
gonna
sad.
kill you now.
I don't want to kick a horse when it's dying.
That's fair. I mean, I do, but you don't have to.
Go for it. You have no stake in this. They don't care about you. Not that they care about us at all.
All right. And with that, we'll wrap it up. I want to thank the Patreon patrons.
Anyway,
it was, but it was good to get out of
Yammin
the
needs to leave.
Yeah, Yammin needs to go, like, fuck or something. So, thank you, Brianna, Chelsea, David, Aaron, Everso Joe, Jesse, Joshua, Kane, Rebecca, Sydney, Smitty, Werbinger, Minjang, Jensen. He was number 1.
Nice.
Tara, That Loser Travis, Vanessa, and Jessica. You're all amazing. And I would personally...
I love you guys.
Bury your body if you ever died.
Bury your body if you ever died. That is a strange offer.
Oh, God.
Just saying. Someone's got to do it.
I would kick your corpse into the earth for you.
So thank you guys. If you want to send us an email, please do at prudedudes@gmail.com. Hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at prudedudes. You can find us on our personal accounts at Twitter at AlexPennant97 for me, at PatrickCharlton5 for Patrick, and at Papa Yams, 2 S's for Yammin. Those links will be in the description. Thank you again for listening, guys, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye.